What is up, beautiful people? I am a USAPL powerlifter, and I'm going to tell you all the gear that you need to be a powerlifter and be your very best at it. We will start with most important and go to least important, and then some just accessory stuff that could help, should help, but not necessary at all. So if you want to be the best powerlifter that you can be, stick around and find out. We are going to start with the number one thing that you need as a powerlifter, and that is a good lifting belt. Preferably has the lever on it and have it to the correct size. You don't want it cinched down as tight as possible, but it's 13 millimeter. That's what you want. You want a thick 13 millimeter belt, and preferably one with the lever. Now, belts are not the end all be all of strength, and they don't add anything to your lifts. It gives you something to brace against, so then you know your brace is good. And for something like a squat or a deadlift, that it is super, super important to get a good brace and to have something to brace against, and something thick and durable like an A7 lifting belt is perfect. A lever is preferred, but if you don't have that, it's perfectly fine. Lever just makes it easier to go on and off. Up next is knee sleeves. Now, knee sleeves do not add strength. Again, nothing on this list is necessary to lift heavy. It just helps. Knee sleeves do a couple of things. One, it insulates your knee so that it stays warm. And as we know through the literature says, whenever you are warm, it's a process called warming up, you are more likely to lift at your very best. So by keeping the knee warm and insulated, it can take away some of that knee pain that some might experience when squatting heavy. And also, if you have really, really good knee sleeves, these are okay, just not amazing. You will actually get into the bottom, and this will crinkle up, and it can be a good reminder of, okay, I'm at the bottom of my squat, it's time to go up. I'd suggest getting a super, super good pair of knee sleeves and measure your legs before you get a pair. I've gone through like 6 pairs because I didn't measure my legs before. Measure once, buy once, and you'll have knee sleeves forever. These are from Tough Wraps. I think they're really good. I'm actually should have a pair coming in the mail from A7 as well, because I love their lifting belt so much that I'm gonna get a pair of knee sleeves as well. I should also mention that I am a USAPL Raw competitor, so I only use certain equipment as compared to an equipped lifter uses a bunch of other stuff. So if you wanna lift raw, this is what I use, and it really helps me do my best. The third and basically the final piece of equipment you need to be the best powerlifter you can be is wrist wraps. Now, I used wrist wraps during bench press, and it helps with a few things. One, it's a really, really good reminder that, okay, I'm benching, let's get this going. It's also a really good reminder of where to place your hand at. So if you're placing your hand on the bar and your wrist is straight down and flush, you know that your wrist is in the right position. If you're trying to bend your wrist, you know that it is not, because putting on wrist wraps correctly means that you cannot bend your wrist. This is one of the few pieces of equipment that actually helps prevent injury. Once you get up to heavier and heavier weight, your wrist is going to naturally want to bend, and bending like this with a lot of weight on is not good. So get yourself a pair of wrist wraps. These are from Gym Reaper. I think I got them for like $7 or $8, something like that. You can spend all the way up to like $70, $80 on wrist wraps. I have not found one that feels any different than these for the price that I pay. Another thing is, you see this little thumb strap? You are not allowed to use this on platform. So if you want a little quick tip, this is a super, super quick and easy tutorial on how to put on wrist wraps. So I have my wrist wrap. I take the thumb strap and I place it in my hand. I hold it with my middle finger, and then you go over once, pull really, really tight, still holding there. And then you go up again, higher on your wrist. So then your wrist cannot move. And then on this last pull, you go down with it, so it's holding onto something, and then I let go. And then I can't move my wrist freely, and I'm stacked really, really good to be as strong as possible on the bench press. So if you want to become a power lifter, you have to get some good quality wrist wraps. And the last thing you need to be the best power lifter that you can be is chalk. The power lifter's favorite thing to throw around all over a gym and make a giant mess. One, it helps with grip. It takes some sweat and dries your hands off. So it takes some of the sweat off of your hand. And also, how else are you supposed to look cool if you don't have all of these things plus chalk? You need to have an absurd amount of chalk on to lift heavy. I think everyone knows that. You need as much chalk as possible to lift your best, and that's just how it goes. I keep mine in a Ziploc bag and in another bag, and I just throw it in my gym bag so I don't get chalk everywhere. If you lift at a powerlifting gym, they probably have chalk there. Be respectful. All of those things were jokes, by the way. You don't need as much chalk as people think. It just helps to dry your hands out. And I put it on my back during like bench press and squat so I can get a big grip on the bar or get a big grip on the bench with my back. Chalk is not a necessity by any means. It can just help, and it can just be an added benefit for people. I would highly suggest getting some though. You can get some anywhere. This is a really, really good chalk that I got at my gym, and I just use this bag for it. A lot of people use chalk or use climbing chalk, like what climbers use, like cliff climbers, whatever they're called. And that's really, really good stuff. I think this is something similar. I don't know, my gym had it, so I bought it. And it works well. I don't lose my grip often, and this stuff really, really holds up. With all that being said, that is all you need to be the best powerlifter you can be. All the gear, all the things. There's always added more stuff, and you can always add more stuff, and you can always take some stuff away. It is just completely up to you. If you could only pick one thing out of this list, I would suggest the lifting belt. That helps with 2 lifts, and it's amazing to have that brace against. You will never see me squatting or deadlifting without a lifting belt. And now you won't see me ever squatting without knee sleeves, and you won't see me ever benching without wrist wraps. It is so important to have good equipment so that you can lift your very best. If you all are struggling on where to find equipment, A7, Gym Reaper, Tough Wraps, Strength Shop USA, trying to think, SBD. SBD is like the powerlifting brand. Some of their stuff is really, really expensive, but I'm sure it is great quality. Pick whichever one you like, and don't worry if you can't buy the most expensive or the nicest thing. Most of the stuff, it's all the same. Look for a 13mm lifting belt. Look for whatever wrist straps you like, and knee sleeves is the only thing that the price kind of matters, just because the material that it's made out of. Take these knee sleeves, for example, are very soft and bendy, and there's some that are very like coarse and stiff, which helps with different things. So you need to just choose what you like, and it's okay to try a couple of different things and send them back. So some lifting belts are pretty specific on like you cannot send back after use, but some wrist wraps and knee sleeves you can send back after 1 or 2 uses, and if you like it, cool, keep it, and if you don't, then send it back. I did forget one thing that you need to compete, and that is a singlet. You need to have a singlet to compete. That's the little like leotard thing that we wear on platform, and that's just the rules. You need that to compete. If you don't know where to buy those, all the sim companies have singlets. Some of them are super, super expensive. Some of them are pretty cheap. You can go on Amazon and get a singlet, just whatever you prefer, but you need that to compete. The rest of this is just equipment wise, but get yourself a singlet, get yourself a belt, knee sleeves, wrist straps, and start training for powerlifting. It is the best choice that I've ever made, and I am super excited to continue my powerlifting career and see where it goes. If you did enjoy, please hit like, hit subscribe down below. All the other important links will be down below as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.